are live. Welcome to Glamma's Closet, guys. Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. Mwah. It's good to see you. Let's say hello already in chat. And I see you, Brenda Reed, first in chat and first in our hearts. Tackle hugs to you, sugar. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday morning. Linda Tankersley. Mwah. Good morning, Linda. Woo, doggy. That's really special. Thank you so much for being here this morning. We love our Linda. We love our Linda. We love our Linda. Linda. It's a mirror image. It's kind of hard to figure out which one is the right L. Look out, it's Glamma time. I'm shockingly on time. So there was Brenda with the tackle hugs. Thank you so much, gorgeous. And Linda, and good morning, Linda. Thank you for being here. Ashley Reed. Good morning, Ashley. How are you, sugar? I hope you're doing great this morning. There is Randy at Moon Valley Crafts. Hello, Randy. Hello, sweetheart. And Ashley and Brenda and Randy saying hello to everybody. And good morning and happy Sunday. It has been, wow, what a week. I have had a week of, I would call it a week of service, I guess. Do you ever have those weeks where the majority of your time is actually spent in service to others? And it makes you feel good about yourself in the end, but it's kind of it interrupts sort of daily life. So that being said, what daily life would you have without your friends and family and loved ones? So, that's in my humble opinion, it was worth it. But my business did sacrifice a little. We'll talk about that in a minute. Little Debbie, my little Deb, what's up, girlie? Good morning. Auntie Lynn, hello, lovely girl. Hello. Thank you so much for being here all the way from Great Britain. And it is 4:02 p.m. where you are, Miss Lynn. And it is just about tea time. So she may be having her Sunday, we would call it Sunday supper. She would call it Sunday tea, probably. She may call it supper, dinner. Everybody's got their own thing, right? I'm like, dinner's ready. So I guess for here it's dinner. Even when I do Sunday dinner early, because of football season, I'll do it like 1 o'clock or 1:30 instead of later, and then we just eat leftovers later. Usually I'll call it dinner. I'm like, dinner. And they always say they talk about how moms always serve themselves last. And it was always conversation in my house growing up. The mom gets the burnt ends, the mom serves herself last. And when I got married, I made up my mind that I was never going to be, I wasn't going to be last. If I put in all the work, I was going to be first. I get first dibs. I get the best part of the whatever. That's it. If I put in all the work, why shouldn't I? Right? When everybody else is sitting around watching TV and watching football, and I'm in the kitchen slaving away, I get the first piece of lasagna. I get the first piece of cake. I get the first piece of whatever I cooked. And I think it's just a way of, sort of spoiling yourself. And as women, we tend to put ourselves last on any list. So, that's my little way of spoiling myself. Raquel Swartz, good morning, beautiful. How are you? Look at her with the little dog ears. Good morning. Ravens are in preseason. Yeah. I watched a Packers game yesterday with my mother. That the Packers came out looking very well. Now, of course, preseason is, if you don't know much about football, preseason is it's like having a practice game. They're not bringing out, they will bring out they'll bring out their first line They'll bring out their O-line and their defense, just to kind of give them a little practice, just to get them warmed up, just to kind of get them used to playing in front of stadiums, that sort of thing again. But they won't bring them out for long. They can't risk having somebody, jam their having a quarterback jam his, thumb, or they can't have somebody turning an ankle before their season, when they're paying millions of dollars for players. So yeah. They are so far, though. It is a good indicator, Brenda. It is a good indicator of how the season's going to go, and that's important. In our house, adults got first, then kids, usually father first, then mom, then oldest kid, youngest was last. Yeah, my daddy always got to go first. But to be fair, my dad did most of the cooking. My dad did, not most, but a lot of it. P. Murph, my brother from another mother. How you doing this morning? Mwah. It is great to see you. We call those games friendlies. Yeah, it's like a little friendly match. It's like a little wrestling match in the backyard. Nothing major, but a little couple of friendly matchups. And I think it's mostly to get the second string and third string too, a little bit of a real game experience, or at least the best that they can do for real game experience. So that is certainly something to look at. And y'all, I joined a fantasy football league. My husband and my kids have always played in fantasy football leagues. I have 3 sons that played football. I have a husband who's a huge football fan. And so this year, all the women in the family, we've all been football widows for years. And my brilliant daughters-in-law decided that this year we're starting our own fantasy football league. So I expect much confusion and a lot of laughs, and I'm bringing the chicken wings, which I am purchasing. Jennifer Hayes, good morning, gorgeous to you. Mwah! Thank you for being here, honey. That's a hug for you. Thank you so much for being in the chat this morning. Are you the quarterback? No, I'm not even the dollar back. My fantasy is no football. I actually like football season because it heralds the coming of fall. And for me, that's just, fall and fall. So I have my fantasy football draft on the 30th, which means that my Labor Day weekend, next Sunday, we'll be talking a little bit of football, just a little bit, but just enough so that everybody can understand. Ashley, you're a football fan? Me too. Go Packers. Go Packers. You can see it right behind me. Go Packers. Good morning, Ronnie. Mwah! Hugs to you, baby. Jennifer, she's the head tackler. I would say, yes, the head tackler. I would say I'm probably if I had to pick a position in my family, I am probably the center. I'm the guy who keeps the biggest of the guys from rushing my main quarterback. So, yeah. I was a quarterback in college intramurals football. No kidding. I love it. Yeah, I run D for sure. I run defense, I run defense for the whole fam. So excited for fall. Don't care about football, just fall. All the fall. All the falls. Yes. Devin boobs. That's funny. Yeah, I guess defense is probably the best, offensive tackle sometimes. It's rare for me to run with the ball, but if I do, don't get in my way, I guess. That's a metaphor for me running through the Goodwill with great boots. Veronica, sorry, a different phone that you don't know. I was actually spelling your name right when I typed it wrong. Oh. My husband Mike used to play football. So many trophies won too. He cleans them himself. That's right. Same with the fantasy football trophies. I'm like, I'm not dusting the cobwebs off of your little trophies, buddy. You're on your own. But I love that. I love that. So yeah, American football, and what you call football in other countries we call soccer, which is, I don't know, it's I don't know how that came to be. It seems silly to me, but you know. Wait, so next week you'll explain to me what a tight end is? Giggity. I can. I can. Yeah. I smashed my phone yesterday trying to find a skink. What's a skink? Oh, a skunk. Was it a skunk? Oh Lord, don't get sprayed. That's, from what I understand, that's like the worst. And I have a friend whose dogs kept getting sprayed, and everybody says tomato juice or skank. Yeah, everybody says Debbie, you could. Everybody says that that skunks to use tomato juice, and she said she found that the only thing that actually worked to get the smell of skunk out of her dogs was a mixture of vinegar and Dawn. So it was white vinegar and Dawn. Dawn removes the oils, and the white vinegar neutralizes them once they're removed, according to her. And her dogs they kept getting sprayed. Oh my Lord, have mercy. It was nasty. She showed up one day at the house after she had just washed the dogs and hadn't taken a shower yet. And she smelled like a pot farm. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, this is, honey, go take a shower right now. So yeah, take a shower in the garage shower, because I don't want you stinking up my regular bathroom. That Patrick would show us his tight end. I don't know. He is shockingly modest about some things. He really is. He was in the rock wall that lines the driveway of my daughter's grandparents. Oh my goodness. I thought it was tomato juice for skunk smeller. Yeah, that's what they say on the internet, but my friend swears by the Dawn and vinegar. She said she tried tomato juice again and again, and it just didn't neutralize the smell. And the weird thing is that they use like their little, spray sacks. I don't know what they call them. They use those to help make perfumes. It's weird. If you ask nicely, Brenda, or send them coffee money. Yeah. Ever notice you never hear of cats being sprayed by skunks, only dogs? Yeah. Cats are not, first of all, I don't think to a skunk they're scary. According to Warner Brothers, I think they're actually kind of attracted to them. I'm referring, of course, to Pepe Le Pew. But yeah, I think cats are A, faster, and B, less barky. Yeah, I think they're just generally smarter when it comes to that. Claudette, good morning, sugar. Mwah, it's good to see you this morning. I hope you are doing great. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. Cats are not dumb, just saying. Yeah. And my dogs are, my dogs will go after anything that's running around in the backyard. So I'm lucky that they haven't come across any skunks. Colleen, good morning. Oh my God, here's the lion. Good morning, lions. Mwah. I hope you're having a good morning. Now, Linlin, I heard that they don't have skunks in England. Can you confirm or deny? And they said none of the British Isles have skunks. Great Britain, England, Ireland, and no, Great Britain is the three islands. So it's England, Ireland, or England, Northern Ireland, and something else. Well, Wales. So can you confirm? Do you guys have skunks over there? Linlin, she is doing so great. She's such a snuggle bunny. She's such a good puppy. But I am surrounded by so many random things in the house that she's been bringing me. She is still chewing. She's still in her chewing phase. It's probably going to be another year for that. So she brings me like, socks that I haven't seen in like a year. And I'm like, where did you get those? I don't, she has a real gift for digging out things that I haven't seen in forever. No, you don't have skunks. You're lucky. If you've ever smelled pot, it's kind of the same thing. If you've ever smelled anybody smoking a joint, that's what that smells like. They call it skunk weed for a reason. It literally smells like that, but it's like 1,000 times worse. And if a skunk sprays you, it's not spraying like, a water mist. It's actually spraying its oils on you. So the oils stick to you or your dog or whatever is in the skunk's way. Yeah. Jennifer, thank you so much for dropping those links. I appreciate you. If somebody could please drop Jennifer's link for me, that would be wonderful. I would appreciate that tremendously. I do have some upcoming auctions. I'm doing the auction with Cajun Roots Reseller on the 30th. I am at I forget what they called it. It's like a round robin auction. So I'm the 12:30 spot, I think. 12:30, so 11:30 Central, 12:30 Eastern, I think. And then I have 3 auctions in September. I have Cajun Roots Reseller Hump Day auction on the 17th. And then I'll be on the 2 All Guys auction on the 7th of September and on the 28th of September. I do have I don't know what you call a gang of shoes, maybe a blessing. There she is. Hi, Linda. Welcome back, honey. Thank you so much for being here. So I do have so many shoes, and I have boxes of jewelry. I have a couple of a few designer bags. Randy, I will be having a classic crap auction at some point in September, so keep an eye on that. We have a bank holiday tomorrow. Ours is next week, next Monday. Mm-hmm. We have a Labor Day. I don't know if yours is Labor Day also, but it's like sort of that celebrating the end of summer thing, that holiday. So ours is actually not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow. So it's September 1st, I think. Thank you, Brenda. Yes, Johnny's last bingo is tomorrow. Johnny's last bingo is tomorrow. So don't miss out on that. And we'll talk about that in a minute too. Buy Jennifer Hayes a coffee or a milkshake. There's her PayPal. And Jennifer does a lot of work, dropping links and doing things for everybody. And so, I think, $5, $10, $15, if you can afford it, is a great way to say thank you so much for advertising me, even though, I didn't pay you. So now I am. I think it's a great way to just show her your support and show her you care. It means a lot. You never know what difference you can make with just a $5 donation. You never know. Craig, good morning. I'm not going to wake you up. Just keep on sleeping. Johnny's last bingo. Yes, and we'll talk about that in a second. Right. Hashtag not Glenn. Hashtag not Glenn. So they call it the August bank holiday. Okay. It's kind of we call it Labor Day, but it's supposed to celebrate all the people who labor. Yeah. New phone fund, forget the shakes. Yeah. We need a new phone. Jennifer is awesome, Claudette, and thank you for saying so. Hashtag Craig's fault. She said he won't be doing it anymore. I need a phone to do what this old one isn't cutting it. Yeah. You're driving. I don't think it's safe to be asleep and drive. Maybe we want to wake up if we're driving. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. Wake up. Wake up, Craig. Wake up, Craig. Craig following me again. Well, don't slow down for God's sake. He's asleep at the wheel. So you might get rear-ended. Okay, that came out way different than I thought. He does it all the time. Sleep and drive, sleep driving. So like would you, if it's narcolepsy when you fall asleep, is that like carpolepsy? Grandma joke? Yeah, it's a mom joke. Ed, maybe he has a Tesla. Ooh, okay. I didn't know you were fancy like that. Craig's rich. Okay. Well, then he's the most bored rich person ever. So let's talk a little bit about, I will go into very, very little on this because it is not mine to say. It's not my story to tell. I'm telling it from the outside in. So I will just say this. Johnny's last bingo is a direct result of something that he warned people about. People were attending free bingo, getting free prizes, and getting free advertising whenever they donated a prize, and yet complaining. And when I say people, I mean like a couple of specific people ruined it for everyone. Isn't that the way? Sometimes. So you must be confusing me with Johnny. Yeah. Johnny's probably secretly rich. So for those of you who aren't up to date, Johnny made the decision finally. He's like, it's time. It is time. And I don't blame him. It's a thankless job. And it's something that, some people, I don't know how people can complain about, a free game that's fun and games with, the prizes. It's not like the prize is like $100 gift card. You know what I mean? Like, we're not talking about, cash prizes or anything. We're talking about, little stuff. Little, some dollar store stuff, some stuff, that's, little related to bingo and all sorts of things like that. So yeah, and moon pies and stuff like that. And sometimes you can't please. There are people who would complain about a free steak. Yeah, y'all can buy them in the store. Yeah. I demand a return to decency. Dang it, I need my bingo night. Yeah. Hi, Perla. Good morning. There you are, sweetheart. Mwah. Hi. Yeah, Johnny has always done the bingo games only for fun. I don't get how people are complaining and cheating at the same time. Yeah. It's and they do already have a replacement plan. You're right about that, Randy. Yeah, it's a shame someone's ego ruins it for everybody. Not that big a deal. Yeah. I mean, I don't care about prizes. It's the game. Well, and that's the thing, it's just when people do things for fun and then, get sort of an overreaction. Hey, y'all, sorry I stuck in there. I was listening the whole time. Oh, hi. Well, hello, Perla. Thank you for listening in. I appreciate it. So that's what's going on with Johnny's bingo. He's going to replace it with something else. Just ignore those that complain. There are those people who are really tough to ignore and very tenacious. It's always a few buttheads ruining it for everybody. Like, they have to stick out of your butt, right? Just ignore those that complain. There's my angel, Michael. Mwah. Good morning, my angel. Much love to you. It is great to see you, honey. So I have a massive death pile, which I haven't had in a while. And things hung up all over the place in my Poshmark closet, ready to be photographed. I've cleaned boots. I've done, and I have a lot of boots. I have a lot of shoes this week. I've got like a blessing of shoes. It's crazy. And so I'll be photographing most of those. So don't be surprised if I have a pop-up listing either tonight or tomorrow night. And if you come across it and you want to list with me and hang out, not going to be doing too much but listing. It's going to be somewhat quiet. But we'll be listing together. And sometimes that's enough to actually make you go, you're like, well, let me go take a picture of something and I'll at least list one thing. And listing one thing is better than having it sit in your pile staring at you. And I'm going to start putting like boogly eyes on the things that I leave for too long and don't list, because it does need to stare at me. It does. I need for it to stare me down and tell me what's what, So look for live listing this week. Don't forget that Veronica has every other Friday night. She has relist and relax, and you can list, you can relist, you can just do your I don't know, weekly accounting or whatever it is, or you can just hang out, and it's a lot of fun. It's a nice Friday night. Some people are only happy if they are miserable. Part of life. Yes, there are people who, because my theory, and I think on this one I may be right. My theory is that there are people who like attention and they don't care. They don't see the difference between negative attention and positive attention. They just want the attention. They just want to feel important. And we all want to feel important. It's a human need. We all want to belong. We all want to feel important. But that negative attention fills a need when there's no attention at all, when there's no positive attention. So I, throwing a hissy fit, I guess, or just being a stickler, or what, I don't know. I guess it fills a need for them, but it's really a pain in the butt for the rest of us. I need to photograph and list too. I actually have things. No, I don't. Yeah, you don't have it this week, or you're on summer break. Okay. Well, she'll be back in the fall, I'm sure. Next week's Sunday brunch. That's right. We'll be talking foosball. But we'll be back. TBD when. Okay. I recently subscribed to a channel to be supportive. Oh man, it's a grandma Karen situation. I've seen those. Yeah, I've seen those where they're just cranky pants, and I'm like, I'm not putting on my cranky pants, not for just anything. Those are itchy pants, so they're uncomfortable. So I'm going to keep on my participants until it's time to put on my cranky pants. But that's a rare bird. I'm kind of a sunny disposition. Oh, unsubscribe, Debbie. I turned off notifications. I might. I wonder, am I subscribed to them too? Yeah, no, I unsub from people who annoy me. Yeah, I will quietly back out of the room. I'm like Homer Simpson going into the hedges. I'm like, I don't make like a big deal of it or a big scene of it. I'm like most of you. I just, quietly unsubscribe. Oh, let's see. There we go. Most of the people I know who make inappropriate, snarky comments in chats or send ugly emails have mental health issues that warp their sense of when not to say something. That's very true. That's very true. The thing is that their mental health issue cannot become mine. I just, if that's your deal, God bless you. I wish you all the best. I wish you healing or coping mechanisms or whatever. I do. I don't wish you harm. I don't wish you, evil. But that can't become mine. It can't become my problem. If you have a mental health issue, if it's a serious mental health issue, I hope that you get help. I do. I don't wish you bad. But I just hopefully, I can't. I have to protect my own, mental health. Well, I've said that word like 10 times. Jennifer, text me after she texts you, because now I'm curious. I'm working on a program where you can just drop a photo into it and it will scan and create your eBay listing automatically into drafts with already displayed. Nice. Ooh, with comps already displayed. Not sure what my phone did there. Oh, man. Oh, I hope that works out. Okay, so I'm working on a program where you can just drop a photo into it and it will scan and create your eBay listing automatically into drafts with comps already displayed. Isn't that amazing? Let me know if you can do it for Poshmark too. I would love that. I love that. But even if you don't sell on eBay, at least it's a great way. It seems to me like it'd be a great way to go to like a thrift store and just take a little picture or something and then, download it and see what happens. That's awesome. Even if one has such a condition, no excuse. There are medications and behavioral counseling. Everybody needs to learn how to behave appropriately. Yes. No, some people don't realize the hard part about crazy is that many crazy people do not realize that they are crazy. They don't see their actions as inappropriate or, they don't realize they have issues. Exactly, Jennifer. Although do text me or hit me up on Insta. Girl, you know my number. So yeah, some people don't realize that they have issues. And that is, again, it's sad, but yeah, Raquel, exactly. The crazy ones don't realize they're crazy. Posh doesn't have an API, so would have to cross list from eBay, but I'm trying to find a solution for that too. That is awesome. Michael, that is some positive, wonderful news. I love that. Oh yes. Hello, Patrick Murphy. Welcome back. Exactly, Jennifer. Usually parents coddle them and allowed such behaviors. Well, or the reverse, where they didn't understand or exacerbated or made it worse. Sometimes they will verbally or physically abuse them because of that. Oh, I know I have issues and I don't care. It's the intrawebs. It is the intrawebs. Yes. Speak soon. Have a great week. Oh, Lynn, I hope you have a wonderful tea time. Mwah. I hope you have a great evening and sending you so much love across the pond. Thank you so much for being here. Here's a thought. Let's not make blanket statements about people's mental health or neurodivergence. Well, yes, that is a very good thought. And there are different, there are so many different spectrums and things like that. So you never know. You never know what somebody's going through. But we do, yes, Patrick, we do love all of your issues. Some of them need tissues. Guess which ones? Oh, interesting. So moving on. Moving on from that, I was watching storage units last night. And here's a fun one. Hey, Veronica, have a wonderful day, and I will catch up with you in just a little bit. Jennifer, you're right. We've all got issues. So I was watching Locker Nuts last night. I don't know if you guys have seen this guy, Locker Nuts. And I forget his name. And the funny thing is I've watched plenty of videos. I couldn't tell you the guy's name. But in one of the drawers, in a dresser that he found in a locker, he found pot, which, he's in California. And I got so many issues I can start a subscription. I love it. Me too, kiddo. Me too. So he found pot. He found joints, I guess, or pot or whatever in a locker, or in a dresser drawer. And the funny thing is that I'm like, that cannot be the weirdest thing he found in a dresser drawer, even that day. Or a storage unit salvager, not a sports nut. No, yeah, he's Locker Nuts. So he buys storage units and then has like sales and auctions and does flea markets and stuff like that. So here's my question, because I bought at a yard sale, I bought jacket, I bought a coat, I bought, all sorts of things at that one yard sale. And in one of the pockets of a designer jacket, I found a pair of eyeglasses, and the frames, I think, are gold. They're very, very teeny tiny glasses, very thin frames. But on the side, it's got something and then gold and then something. And I'm trying to figure out what part were scratched off and all of that. So I'll have to take a picture and show you guys. Maybe you can help. Yeah, I forget his name too, Jennifer. It's him and his wife. And he found pot in his locker. I found those gold glasses at a yard sale in that yard sale. But I've also found I've found notes passed in class and all sorts of stuff. So I'm curious, have you ever found anything in the pockets of something that you've bought at a thrift or a yard sale or the bins or a locker, or something that was hidden away in something else? Oh, there's another perfect example. I bought this little thing with what I think is a Bakelite little picture frame from the 50s. And it's a picture of a saint that somebody put in there. And they drew on the back. I jiggled it open, because you always jiggle open picture frames, right? If you buy a picture, I jiggled it open to see if there was any hidden treasure. And it was the sweetest hidden treasure. It was there was a sketch that somebody did, a watercolor sketch, or a pencil sketch, I guess, of a flower. And then next to the flower, there was a really pretty note or a prayer or something. Anyway, it was really, really cool. And I was like, whoa, and I put it back in the picture, because I thought, whoever gets this picture next, I want them to have the same happy surprise that I did. I found a $10 bill in a book I bought at a garage sale. Oh, I love that. Yes. Books seem to have money in them often. My cookbooks do. If anything ever happens to me and somebody sells off my cookbooks, buy one, because that's usually, I'll tuck money in there. Jack. Yes, that's his name. Yes. I love the game resellers who will, filming opening a box, see 2 discs in there, and then proceed to buy it as one. Hashtag legit. Yeah. I found 2 10-karat gold rings under the liner of an empty jewelry box I bought for 99 cents at the thrift. And I found some 1960s poster remodeling a building from 1890. That's about it. Those are cool. Those are super cool. Older books too. Yeah. Yeah. Because that's always been a place to do that. Yeah, that is really nice. Way to go, Michael. 1960s poster remodeling a building from 18. That's cool. It's one thing to find something after the fact, but to straight up scam a yard sale person, come on. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to. I don't know if I'd be able to do it, but then I wouldn't buy those things to begin with, because I wouldn't know that it wasn't supposed to have 2 of those. You know what I mean? I wouldn't know. Mine would be pure ignorance. Then they argue they should have known better. Yeah. Well, still. Honestly, I stopped watching them when they made people join their membership to buy stuff at their auctions. Yeah. I don't buy things at their auctions. I just watch them open lockers, but I don't do it often. It's been a really long time, so I was kind of surprised when it showed up in my feed, but I just watched a Taco Stacks auction too. If you Google Wasatch, Texas, it's the old saloon on the far right of the 4 buildings. No kidding. Ooh, here we go. Years ago, I picked up an old wooden picture frame with ship tiles from off the street. Later on that evening, when I got home, I found a $100 bill folded up at the back bottom corner. Nice. And doesn't it kind of inspire you to leave a little something, for, if you have like pictures that you're donating or books that you're donating, it kind of inspires me to leave a little something in there, for the next person to find. Because how fun is it to find things? It's like a little scavenger hunt. You're hungry again? You want a second breakfast? They just bought a new property, though. I see. Yeah, they did. That's probably because they're charging people memberships to get into their auctions, which is, to me, that's, I guess they're taking the opportunity where they find it. So I don't know. I've never found a hidden treasure, but I have discovered the pretty thing I bought for cheap was worth $100. I love that. I love that. Now I want to find something. Jennifer Hayes, didn't you find a Schiaparelli bracelet in a jewelry jar? Because I'm pretty sure I bought that bracelet. And that was well worth it. Well worth it. That's the building. Oh, the link on Facebook that he dropped. That's the building. That is cool. Yeah, I love finding something in something. Heather, good morning. Hello, good morning, Heather. It is great to see you this morning, sugar. I hope you're doing great. I hope you're doing fantastic. I need to go by your channel more often. I haven't been there lately. But to be fair, Heather, I haven't been to anybody's lately because I kind of took the summer off mostly. I found an arrowhead on the beach yesterday. Yay. And oh my God, and a dead dolphin. Dang. Oh. Then I found an unmarked Schiaparelli because the cartouche had been removed. Oh. Yeah, you don't find those every day. Boy, they're good. Patrick Murphy, we're all so jealous. Look at that breakfast. My goodness. Sausage, gravy, and biscuits. That sounds so good. That's so good. So good to see you. Been resting my mind. Lost love of my life to cancer over a year ago. I'm hiding too. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. My heart goes out to you. And I don't blame you. I would be, yeah. I'd be inconsolable. But yes, we're glad to see you, and thank you. Thank you for coming out today. Wow. Poor thing must have got swept into the Chesapeake River during the hurricane and died because of lack of salt water. Yeah, that one makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, the hurricanes can, wow. Oh, poor dolphin, poor Heather. Patrick, you're not Southern. You need a license for that. But much love to you, Heather. Maritza, hello. Good morning, baby girl. Look at those pretty flowers. Are those in your garden? That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Maritza, good morning. I hope you're having a great morning this morning. I am having a good morning too. Let's see. Okay. So I just plop notes in whenever I think of something during the week. But I have only had 5 sales this week, and that's because I've spent my time this week. I took a friend I drove her to another city because it's a long story, but I drove a friend of mine to another city so that she could take care of her parents' business and come back. I spent a day, watching my granddaughter. I spent a day, half a day with my mom. I have been a good wife and sister and mom and friend. I've spent 2 days this week actually going through a wedding timeline for a friend of mine because I was a wedding planner for a very long time. And I'm doing that for her son's wedding for free. So this week was really about giving. And, sometimes you give and give and give until you're just absolutely dry. You're just empty. You can't give anymore. So today after the live, I am going to sort of spoil myself today and just kind of give to me. And then starting probably tomorrow, I will start photographing and doing the thing, the thing, the listing thing. Y'all, I am losing my mind. So because of that, I only had like 5 sales this week on Poshmark. I wasn't sharing, I wasn't listing, I wasn't doing anything. So I had 5 sales, which is a slow week for me. It's not the slowest week I've ever had, but it's a pretty slow week. But there's an interesting thing about this because 2 of those sales were vintage items. One of them was a gift from a friend of mine who was cleaning out her aunt's house. And I had a vintage 70s red and black disco dress. I listed it for $40. And it was just like this old thin polyester dress with, spaghetti straps. And it wasn't lined, and it was just a thin old polyester disco dress. So I listed it for $40, thinking, well, I'll probably get $20 or whatever in the end of all things. But we tend to start high. I got $34 out of it, and it sold within 24 hours of listing it. And then I have this vintage green and white polka dot long sleeve polyester pussycat bow Sears blouse that has been sitting in my closet for like a year and a half. And somebody purchased that. I had 2 vintage items go in a week. There is a big call for the 70s vintage stuff that I'm seeing an uptick on. I'm just putting it out there. That's what I'm selling. I don't know if you'll be selling the same, but if you have some 70s vintage stuff in your death pile, maybe worth a second look, maybe worth getting those out and really, thinking about listing them. I have more of the stuff that my friend brought me. And so I'm thinking about, those were both pieces of clothing, Randy. But, I haven't, but I don't normally sell jewelry on Poshmark. I'll sell very, very little jewelry on Poshmark. Typically, I save the jewelry for auctions because I just don't like photographing jewelry. It just doesn't photograph as beautifully as it shows on a camera. So, when I finally do my nails. You got a big fat 0 this week? Total of 3 for you, Deb. Yeah, it's been slow. It's been slow as molasses in January. And Heather, it's been slow on all the platforms for you too. I think it's because everybody's attention has turned to going back to school. But like they were shopping for it like 2-3 weeks ago. And now school is actually starting, so their attention's sort of off of that. If you have anybody who has small children, or I should say school age children, they don't have to be small, but their attention is kind of going towards that. Depressed times, same as the 70s, so colors and styles coming back in vogue. Well, that does make sense. I used to have that clothing, but I have purged everything when I moved. Yeah. A lot of them, like I said, I'll get like a bag of clothes, that nobody in their family wanted because it's all old polyester stuff from the 70s, and it's going. I'm selling it. I'm making money, and I got a free bag of clothes, free inventory. Not mad at that. And I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, I have to have this curated, look in my closet, and it has to be all designer. It has to be all this. It has to be all that. I'm not that guy. I'll throw anything up there, and I'll throw anything at the wall and see if it sticks. I've always been that way with just about everything. Yeah, Heather, you're right. People are settling back into schedules. And, in October, they tend to start buying again. End of September, beginning of October, they're looking for Halloween. They're looking for, things to wear to Thanksgiving dinner. They're looking for things to give for Christmas presents and things like that. So it picks back up, but again, it depends on the economic outlook. So luckily for us as resellers, if you are a reseller, you're selling for less than retail 9 times out of 10. So that's good. A huge thrift store opened up next to my house. What a dream. I find carts full of items. Oh my God, that's awesome. Heather, that's awesome. I love it. You couldn't keep me out of their dumpsters. You could not keep me out of their dumpsters. You probably couldn't keep me out of the thrift store. If you're wondering what I'm doing, there is a fruit fly that has been harassing me the entire time I've been on camera. The entire time, just flying around, it's driving me crazy. Yeah, that is Heather. Wow. I think all of us dream of that day whenever a thrift store opens up next to us. I'm there almost every day. Squash it. I just did. And I'm not ashamed to say that, I'm country enough to have squashed it with my bare hands and flicked it off. And now I'm going to smoke. And I'm going to do my victory lap. Honey, in some ways, I am super earthy. That was my mother's phrase for if someone's, kind of country. My grandmother would say the S word, S-H-I-T. She did not consider that a curse word. Or it would be her, oh, blank. And she would, she's like, my aunt was like washing her face. I shouldn't be telling these stories, but heck it. My aunt was, she used a separate washcloth. She was staying with my grandma, visiting her from Oregon. And she used a separate washcloth for her face and then a separate washcloth for the rest of her body. And my grandma was like, oh, what's good for one end's good for the other, my mother would say she was earthy. She's like, well, your grandma can be a little earthy, but she's still a lady. She cracked me up. Especially if the country pronunciation of yeah, it's kind of, no, she would go, oh, yeah. She would just, she made it sound like chit, C-H-I-T. It was nice to see you all. Big hugs. Have a Fans Day for yourself. Mwah. I hope that you're taking good care of our Heather, because we still love you. We have not forgotten about you. And just know that there's, we're here when you are ready for us. But we're sending you wonderful, positive vibes and love and light all day long. And I hope that you take good care of our Heather. So yeah, my earthy grandma. I forget where I was going with that. I just rambled on. I don't know. Grandma was earthy. You love you. Oh, honey. Much, much love. Heather is, she's, there's just something about her that makes it very, 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 she's so easily relatable, and she's so easy to listen to. Her chat is always just, her chat's always just, laid back and fun. I love it. Now, I did take a lowball offer. I did take a lowball offer this week on something, on a pair of shoes. I had like $30 on them, and somebody offered me $8, and I took it because I believe, and there is absolutely no science to back this up whatsoever. But I believe that sometimes taking a lowball offer will kind of tickle the algorithm a little, kind of get things going. Sales seem to beget sales, and I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if that's a if it's a real thing, or if it's, or if that's just, my mindset, and I end up doing other things that also help me get sales. But I feel like every time I just take a couple of little lowball offers here and there, and not on anything like, I'm not going to take a lowball offer on a pair of Chanel shoes, something like that. But I would, but on a pair of heels that's been, sitting in my closet for 6 months that I got in a thread-up shoebox, sure, why not? I made $5. I made my money back. That's pretty much it. I broke even on that one. But by breaking even, I may end up into, a more profitable week. And I'm hoping that that's the case. Okay, so in March, Kevin and I are going out to our lot 30 minutes south of St. Louis. Child, I am about 10 minutes south of St. Louis. If you do not let me take you out to dinner, I am going to be so disappointed in you. You better reach out to me, and I cannot wait. I look forward to seeing you in March. Yeah, let me take you guys out to dinner. They took me to Vegas, so it's the least I could do. Yeah, oh God, I would love it. And we could go to Broadway Oyster Bar, and have like listen to them sing the blues, and have semi-Cajun food, and semi-Cajun food with the St. Louis flair. We're in Rogue Creek. I'll have to look that up. I'm writing this down right now. Rogue Creek. Oh, guys, I do have a great tip for you. Okay, if you are selling clothing at all, or shoes at all, there is, and I'm going to put her name. Her name is Mogi Beth. She's a reseller, and she's a young one. But she knows her stuff, and she just came out with a list of 10 brands that you may not know that you want to know. And there's one of them, which is a boots, and it's called, and on the boot, you'll see it's marked with an asterisk. So like a little yellow asterisk, I think, is on the boot, or it's on the sole. And there's some at the back of the boots that I saw. They sell boots and shoes. It goes by Art, but it may be better known as the Art Company. Or on Poshmark, they just call it Art Company, that have a really good resale value. And it's one of those things that if you're, Raquel, yes, it's one of those things that I'm always looking for those brands that the thrift stores haven't caught up with yet, that they don't know about yet. And so that I think is going to be one of those brands. I think it's going to be one of those things. But she also had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. She had like 9 other things, 9 other name brands that may be worth keeping an eye out for. I actually bought a makeup thing, and the makeup thing is not. It's not high end. It's literally for my makeup. But I heard that the reseller was like, "This is Mugler," and I'm like, "Is that what I think it is?" And it was. Terry Mugler. Oh, unusually temporary error code on here. Okay. Hopefully there we go. Okay, so if you see the word Mugler, that is not Mugler, it's Mugler, and it's a high-end designer. And somebody was like selling this makeup case, and they were like, "Oh, it's Mugler, it's a Mugler makeup case." And I'm like, that's Mugler, dude. And so I bought it for myself, for my own personal use, because I'm not going to resell that. It's a makeup, it's a makeup thing. But I was thrilled to find it. Ex-wife of the dude who is now married to Kourtney Kardashian. No kidding. No kidding. Did not know that. Well, it looks like she made pretty good. It looks like she came out on top there. He got a Kardashian and she got an empire. So that's awesome. She got a brand. So I really do recommend if you're selling clothing, if you're selling shoes, even if it's just just a portion of your business, because a lot of these things, like if you sell jewelry, some of these brands will also have jewelry brands. It's kind of like J. Crew, where they sell sweaters, but they also sell jeans and flats and jewelry and things like that. Like Kate Spade, where we kind of know her for the purses, but she sells clothing, lingerie, wedding dresses, all sorts of stuff with her name all over it. I have like Kate Spade thank you cards in the other room, that sort of thing. I'm kicking myself for not buying the Linus Coach wallet. That thing soared in price. Yes. You never know when you're going to find, and you never know when you're going to find things. I found a pair of handmade festival pants that were like a size 0. There's no way in the world that I should have picked these up. But my instincts were like, you know what? I'm never going to see these again. And when I say festival pants, holy crap. They were like nubby cotton on the front, and then they had like multicolored fringe down the side that had been hand sewn in. Okay. And then they were flare at the bottom. And they had an elastic waist. I mean, they were literally handmade. There was no materials tag whatsoever anywhere near this thing. And you could see kind of the hand stitching on some of it. And so I bought them, and they were like 50% off. So they were $5 plus 50% off. So I bought them for like $2.50. I made $30 on those. You never know, if you see something that you think has value, then it's definitely, trust your instincts. You've been a reseller for a while. Trust your instincts. You're meeting Terry Mugler. That's the dude, famous French designer. Yes. Who's the ex-wife of the dude who's now married? Well, I know that Mugler is worth a lot of money. Who's the ex-wife of the dude who is now married to Kourtney Kardashian? And why was I thinking that was an ex-husband? Yeah, I was asking. Yeah, same thing, right, Deb? I don't know. Yes, and yes, that's what I mean. Yeah, Terry McGlair. Yeah, I typed it into the chat, and it says an error occurred on YouTube. This is usually temporary. Wait a moment to try again. So I don't know. I got a red message on that. Weird. I was asking about the Mugler when I referred to Kardashian. I'm a little confused, little Debbie, but I do know that, I do mean Terry Mugler, the French designer. Yes. Yeah, and somebody had like a bag, and they were like, "Oh, this is a Mugler bag," and I'm like, "What?" So, what I've decided to do, just kind of based on what I've seen around the way, what I've decided to do is maybe try and once a week just do kind of a featured brand that people may or may not know about. And I will give you their history and the correct pronunciation. Sometimes the correct pronunciation is very, very simple. Sometimes you will see there are brands that I've picked up in the past that I had to learn about from Google image search, because I didn't know what this symbol meant, and there was no name. So we'll be talking about brands. We'll be talking about brands every week, and not all about brands. We're talking like a 5-minute segment or whatever. But that will give us a good kind of, just not even a bolo list, just something to keep in your head, just something to keep in mind when you're out there thrifting in the mean streets of wherever you live. Shayna Mokler, that's her name. Sorry, the ex-wife of Travis Barker is not the designer. McGlair. Okay, I get it. Yep, I would have. Debbie, it is early, and it is Sunday. We're all relaxing a little bit, and that's cool. Oh, Buffalo Picker has a whatnot auction today at 12:30. He really does. He has like great deals on toys, and I don't think he sells secondhand at all. He's typically does like retail arbitrage. So we're talking about like new toys that are new in the box, that are really great deals. And if you want some pre-Christmas shopping, if you want some pre-holiday shopping, if you have fall birthdays coming up, which there are a lot of birthdays in the fall, it's definitely something that I would take a look at, and I have and will again. I can't drop the link because I don't have whatnot on this old phone. Yeah. Yep. I understand. Well, thank you for letting us know and reminding us. Yeah, they have $2 starting bids, and sometimes you can get incredible deals for brand new toys. Yes, brand new toys. So it is 11:06. We have already gone over a little bit, but I feel like we had a good visit this morning. So next week, look for me to start the brand of the week, and also we will be talking football. I'm not buying nothing. London is in 5 weeks, and it's expensive. Yes, it is. To go mod there. Yeah, that's going to be tough. See you tonight. I will see all of you tonight. And not tonight. I'll probably be listing tomorrow night, because I think I'm just going to relax tonight. Yeah, kick back. I'm retired, so maybe get high. I don't know. Or have a little cocktail or something. But I do want to remind you that that no matter where you go and what you do, never forget, take this with you. Glamma loves you. You are so important, and don't you forget it.